everyone! Before we get started with today's experiment, here's an important note.
It's important that you have a grown-up nearby, just in case you might need help or working with some of the materials in our kit.
So pause this video, take a moment, and go find an adult so you can get started with our experiments and read-alouds. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another fun STEM activity. I am Miss Geeler, a Title I teacher here at Mason. Today we will be doing an activity called hydraulics. If you haven't watched the read aloud for Papa's Mechanical Fish, pause the video now and come back when you are done. Have you ever been to London? I haven't, but there's a famous bridge called the Tower Bridge. It's behind me right now though, actually. The bridge is special because it has the ability to lift and open on both sides. When both sides are open, boats can pass beneath and between the open sections of the bridge. How awesome is that? How do you think this thing works? I did a bit of research and found that it works by using hydraulics. It sounds confusing, but I found out it is actually pretty simple. Have you ever seen a seesaw? When somebody sits on one side, the other side goes up. If you sit on this side or apply pressure to this side will go up. It's the same idea in hydraulics, but with liquid instead. The Tower Bridge is powered by pressurized water that makes the doors open. For this experiment, we're gonna go through what you need to make this thing work, because there's gonna be two separate experiments that we're doing with it. These are the items that came in your kit. You have 2 syringes, 1 tube, 4 wooden squares, some wooden popsicle sticks, and parafilm. Parafilm is something that they use in the lab to secure things together. It's kind of like tape. Some other things that you are going to need are some glue, some tape, and a cup of water. It doesn't need to be a lot. I did roughly, I would say that's probably about 3 tablespoons. You don't need much. For this part of the experiment, all you will need is your 2 syringes, your tube, and your cup of water. We're going to be testing out why they decided to use water and not just use pressurized air. The first step you're going to do is you are going to take your first syringe and you are going to fill it with air. Air, not water, air. Then you are going to take your tube and you are going to connect your syringe to your tube. You are then going to take your other syringe. You are not going to fill it with air, you're going to leave it how it is, and you're going to connect it to the opposite side of the tube. Once you do that, you are going to have almost looks like a smiley face kind of. You are going to go to the top of the filled with air syringe, and you are going to press down. What should happen, if I did this correct, is this will fill with air on this side, and this will go down, this will go up. So all I'm gonna do is press down on my syringe and I will push it down this way. And as you can see, it is working and this side is going up. What I'd like you to do is this time, put your finger on this side and this side of both of the top of the syringes. When you press down on this side, I want you to lightly put a little bit of pressure so you can see how it feels when it gets pushed up. So when I push, I feel a little bit of pressure going on this finger because my finger wants to stay pushed down on it. But because this air is coming from this tube to this tube, it's not really letting my finger push it down. So now I'm going to do it on this opposite side. Still the same thing. I can still feel the pressure. I'm even going to try on both ends, pressing it down. It's really hard to keep it to move. Now, you are going to take off, oops, wrong side. You're going to take off the side that's filled with air. You are going to push halfway out of the air. So right now I'm on 10, I'm going to move down to 5. And this is where your water comes into play. You are going to fill the rest of this tube up with water. So it will be half air, half water. I'm going to stick it into the cup of water and I'm going to pull up. Now I went up to all the way I could. Now I can't get any more air or water in this thing. So I'm going to take my tube and I'm going to connect it back And now I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the air-filled tubes. Now I'm gonna do it with this water. So I'm gonna push it again, and it goes up. Now I'm gonna do this and hold this side. And wow, I'm feeling something. But I wonder if you're feeling the same thing that I'm feeling when I press. Talk to your grown-up or anybody else in the room about what you feel and the difference that you feel when you do it with air and when you do it with water. Now we're going to build a structure that we can actually lift up. Beforehand, I made this structure. It has a bottom, you can already see the syringe attached, and it has a top that will get pushed up, hopefully, when I add air or water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a structure with glue and my squares and my popsicle sticks. So this is where you can get creative and you can build it really however you want. So you have a structure that you can use hydraulics on. Because I was using glue, it does take a while. You have to be a little bit patient to let it dry. Another thing you can try using is tape to make it work, or you could use some hot glue if you have that available at home. But while that's drying, I have a pre-made one already ready for us. So one of the things I did use was tape on this one on the bottom because I was actually having some trouble gluing it. Another thing you can use is, this is where you can use the parafilm. The parafilm acts as a binder, so it connects them, the two plastic parts. So here I'm going to connect it here, and then I'm going to circle it around, and it acts as a sealant almost. It really seals everything in so no air can get through. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to suck up some water, and then I'm gonna connect it to this, and we're gonna see how, well, let's actually try it with some air first, and then we'll try it with some water so we can see the difference between them. So right now I'm going to first fill this with some air, and it's fully taken out. Now I'm going to connect it to our tower. Now I'm gonna press and let's see if it does something. Oh, I can feel that it's really trying. It's pushing against me. There it goes. And it's raised. And now when I pull, I wonder what happens. I wonder if it comes down. Oh, that's awesome. Science is so cool. Now, I'm gonna do this again, but I'm going to take it off and I'm going to do the same thing that we did prior when we were testing our hydraulics. Now I'm going to press out half of our air, and I'm gonna pull up half water. Now I have some water in my tube and in my syringe, so you gotta be careful when you connect these, because I'm hoping no water comes out. Okay, let's test to see what happens. Wow. That did feel different for me too on the last one. I wonder what the difference is. Again, talk to some grown-ups at home about what you think changed between this and the last experiment that would make this one feel different. Science is so cool. Thank you guys.